Brian and Tori managed to trick their way into getting an invitation to watch a movie with Cassie and her boyfriend Matt at the house she was watching, which conveniently aligned with their evil plan. They accepted the offer, then went to the school library, where they further discussed and wrote down the details of how they intended to execute this plan.
I'm sorry. I'm so necessarily taking the work. It's Jesus purpose. She's really nice. I remember something to inspire us house number. And we get together. It's
I thought about coming together and y'all assholes cut my videos off. And these assholes talk about killing fucking people. And y'all got these fucking videos rising them up. Man, fuck you,
Night,
YouTube,
Brian
you
and
piece of
Tori
shit.
arrived at Cassie's aunt's house under the pretense of watching a movie. Before settling in, Cassie and Matt showed them around, and during the tour, Brian and Tori left the basement door open so they could return later to carry out their evil plan. Then, just as the movie was about to begin, they changed their minds, claiming they'd rather see the movie at the theaters. They then left, only to return later that night to execute their evil plan.
We're here in his car.
Let's do this.
Time is 9:50. September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the viewing task of killing our two friends. And they are right in a house just down the street. We just talked to them to the different house. And we checked out the whole house, and there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors. That's all locked. Now we're just gonna wait. And yeah, we're looking nervous right now. But, we're ready. We're listening to the great. So we had this for a long time. A long time. We'll stay tuned.
Brian and Tori returned to the neighborhood and parked a block away, then slipped back in through the unlocked basement door. After wearing their costumes, they tried to bait Cassie and Matt downstairs
Man, fuck all
by
this
making loud
bullshit.
noises. And when that
I
failed,
get
flipped the
SSI.
circuit breaker to plunge the house into darkness. Still no one came, so they flipped the power back on. Feeling uneasy, Cassie asked her boyfriend Matt to stay overnight.
Man,
Matt's
fuck all
mother
this
arrived around
bullshit.
10:30
I get
p.m.
SSI. SSI. I don't get your regular Social Security. I want to know how in the fuck do illegal aliens come over here and never put a 1 day's work into the system? But I did. But they get more than me. How does that work?
A police investigation began, and after clearing initial suspects, including Cassie's boyfriend, who had a solid alibi from his mother, attention turned to Brian and Tori, who had also been at the house that night. It didn't take long for investigators to spot inconsistencies in their stories, although Brian had admitted on tape to slitting Cassie's throat.
I found her in the floor. I thought you want to get her that was joking, and yeah, they're trying to, you try to spot the room, and she's looking at all. We have to kill her. I can't plug it in. We have to kill her. I have to wait. I heard the way I tried to put how
Millions of them. Millions of them.
By pitting Brian and Tori against each other, detectives secured confessions, recovered the murder weapons, and even restored their destroyed tape. Both Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk were charged with first-degree murder, found guilty, and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Next, we have a psychopathic serial killer who vlogged his horrific crimes as he abducted and murdered more than a dozen women.
You saw about what you jumping in the car with about you don't know. You want to say something to your kids? Mom, so you know, first kid number one. First kid was 19 years old.
Between May and October 2001, more than 4 women were reported missing and later found strangled to death along various roadways in the Ferguson area of St. Louis, Missouri. One disturbing detail connected all the victims. They were all sex workers. As the investigation continued, police realized the number of victims were as high as 12. Prompted a St. Louis news reporter to publish a story featuring one of the victims in the newspaper. Like many serial killers who crave public recognition, the killer, 37-year-old Maury Troy Travis, a hotel waiter and convicted felon on probation, sent a letter to the reporter taking credit for the murders. He included a map with an X marking the location of another body in the letter. When authorities found a body exactly where he indicated, they launched a manhunt. They began tracing the source of the map he had used. Investigators subpoenaed the map service provider and obtained the IP address tied to Travis's computer. That led them straight to him. After his arrest, his fingerprints matched those found on several of the victims. His ultimate undoing came when police discovered vlogged videos of him committing the brutal crimes, along with evidence in the quarter-room basement beneath his home.
That's the safe clear. You saw her? You saw about what you jumping in the car with mom? You don't know? You saw her? You want to say something to your kids?
Tom Connors here. How can I help you, sir?
You already in your back smoking crack. You ain't going home. I'll keep you about a week.
Certainly. What's your destination?
It's first kill, number one.
Excellent. It's on its way.
First kill was 19 years old. Laying down. It was nice.
Unfortunately, the police were only able to find one vlogged video of a single victim. While Maury Travis claimed to have heard over 17 women, the official count was 12. However, before he could stand trial for his crimes, Travis did the unthinkable and offed himself. Next up, this dangerous man forced his ex-girlfriend to go live on Facebook to apologize to his current girlfriend, only to murder her during the live stream.
I ain't have no feeling going on like that. Wait, here we go. Everybody knows you're trying to make friends. Game over.
On April
Yo, what you need?
2018, 37-year-old Jonathan Robinson laid siege to
Yeah, player. We'll get it to you.
ex-girlfriend, 27-year-old mother of 3, Renita Williams, after she had publicly ridiculed his long-term partner, Sherika Taylor, online, an attack that had driven Sherika into a mental breakdown. Robinson, who'd been dating both women at once and refused to let either go, arrived armed with a rifle, took Renita, her mother, and her brother hostage, and ordered Renita to go live on social media to apologize to Sherika. Renita's mother managed to escape and call police, despite Robinson's firing shots at her. With the mother gone, Jonathan kept Renita and her brother captive, forcing Renita to continue live streaming apologies until Sherika was satisfied.
No. I had no feeling going on with it. My pain is like, so that's why I'm going on it. Yes, I know it's wrong. You feel going on with it. Like, super dope. Everybody knows you're trying to make friends. Yes. Words. I mean, something. There's no, I'm not. So I have gone to take my gun. No. Yeah. Can't tell what about the police right now. I'm tell what about the police right now. So tell them about the police, right? Hey, it's work to them right now. Hold up. It's one of these men. I'm gonna make some plans. Now I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna make plans. No. No. If I'm gonna be playing, then be playing today. Huh? I'll do it. Yeah. Tell you I don't need this help.
The situation then took a dangerous turn when police, alerted by Renita's mother, arrived at the scene, triggering an explosive and violent reaction from Jonathan.
No. No. Now, game over.
Jonathan opened fire on the police outside, and when Renita began to scream, shot her more than 6 times, killing her as her brother managed to escape. Jonathan then engaged in a standoff with the police that lasted for over 80 minutes before Federica, the woman he had just murdered Renita for, convinced him to surrender. And in a scene that would leave anyone shocked, officers then allowed Jonathan, who had just murdered a mother of 3, to share an intimate moment with Sharika, the woman he killed for, after she had arrived to the scene. Jonathan was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. He's a felon in possession of a firearm and criminal damage to property. He ultimately took a plea deal without the possibility of parole to avoid the death penalty. Up next, this man flogged his plans, actions, and escape as he executed his wife and daughter, and then set their house ablaze with them inside.
And it's still like I'm getting bought back every time financially. My wife is just it's gonna suck all the money out that I have.
On April 22nd, 2012, King County Sheriff's deputies and the fire department rushed to the burning home of 41-year-old Peter Keller, his wife Lynette, also 41, and their 18-year-old daughter Kayleen in North Bend, Washington. After several neighbors reported the house was on fire, firefighters quickly extinguished the flames before significant damage occurred. But what they found inside was shocking. The bodies of Lynette and Kayleen, both shot to death in their beds. Peter was nowhere to be found, leading authorities to initially suspect he might have been a victim or abducted. That changed when investigators discovered tapes, computer files, and drawings soaked in gasoline, suggesting an attempt to destroy evidence in the fire. The tapes revealed that Peter was not a victim at all, but the killer. He had murdered his wife and daughter, planned to burn down the house, and filmed his entire scheme. The tapes also revealed a hideout Peter had prepared in the woods, giving authorities their first clue as to where they might begin searching for him.
This is something I wanted to do as a teenager, to make a home underground since I started to live people. It's now. The means I made it I spent a lot of money, like I said, I did still like getting knocked back every time financially. My wife is just it's gonna suck all the money out that I have. At this point, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I may get caught right away. I mean, I could basically be dead in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all into chance at this point. So I don't think anyone knows where I'm at. Well, it's about 2 weeks before the end. This is going to be my last video.
Using the detailed drawings and video recordings Peter had made over several months documenting the construction of his bunker, police were eventually able to track him down. The moment Peter realized he had been found, he turned the gun on himself and did the unthinkable. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and watch this one.
Who would take it upon themselves to exercise their right to lethal force were they
That's
to
what I'm saying.
encounter one
Motherfucker
person.
killing.
But it's good to meet you, my friend. Vincent, the LSPD's newest recruit. Let's take a walk. Relax. I'm a cop.
Hello,
I'm not
welcome
a
to
cop.
Common Sense
This is
TV.
just where
I'm
the
your host,
universe put me right now. I mean,
the
I have my
Doctor of
path and you
Common
have
Sense.
yours.
It is so
Quite frankly,
obvious
I don't give a damn
that
about
there
your
is
antics
nothing
out
that
there.
the
In
Democrats,
fact,
the
you may be
media,
able to assist
and the
each other.
rhinos will not do
I mean, check
try
this
to
out.
stop President
You see that
Trump
misguided
from
individual?
making the country
How do you
better.
think he's gotten away
He's
with
having
selling
a hell
drugs in
of a
front of
week,
that burger
by the
shop?
way, too,
Very
and they're upset about
conspicuously
this.
for 10 years now.
Because he
In
broke
front of the
the
largest department in
ceasefire
the
for the
city.
12-day war.
He cuts them
If you
in.
saw
Effenberger, you copy?
the ladies with
Yo,
Rwanda and
Effenberger.
Congo
I copy.
made
Worst
a
last
peace
name
broker
ever,
with
dude.
them,
I mean,
and the
Effen
media
what?
tried to even lie about
Anyway,
that.
you got 5. We
And
all need
then
some
one of the
effing coffee down here on 6. And don't
reporters
forget
showed up
the effing
and
Christmas
threw
tree.
Joe Biden under the
Copy
bus
that.
and was praising
Oh,
Donald Trump. Now I know y'all don't like for this to happen, but
I'm out here
somebody,
getting coffee for
especially
Contra in town.
somebody
And
of
that guy
color,
over there is only a mope,
shows
not an
up
issue.
to give their
Some
praises
cartel running a
to
large-scale
President Trump for
cocaine
doing the
operation
job
out of the
that the
Clucky
other
Rat factory in
presidents were too
Paleto
big of
Bay.
a coward
And
to
be no
even do.
doubt,
Now,
the cops,
she said this
they're not
even
only
while
turning a blind
CNN
eye, they're
was
actively
claiming that there was
facilitating
no
it.
peace
If
agreement.
you ask me,
Well, as
the
far as my
cartel and the cops
congratulations,
can both go to
President,
hell,
first of all, I want to let
preferably
you
on
know
the
that
back
I'm
of the
the
same
only
boat.
African reporter
I'm talking
accredited
about a
here at the White House
surgical strike,
over for the
man.
entire continent.
Taking out
So
the
I
whole
just
operation.
arrived from
That's why I
Congo,
came to you.
Democratic of the Congo, yesterday. I went to see firsthand how the people is
Let's go
feeling
somewhere a bit
and the
more
president's
unfrequented.
message, President Felix Tshisekedi
I
about this
understand your
upcoming
motivation
peace
in these
deal.
matters.
So
If you
she's
raid
not
that
saying what
factory,
somebody
anything
else
you
said. She
find
went and
is yours
visited
to keep.
people
This
to
isn't about the
report
drugs for me.
accurately
This is
what
about
was
these
going on and how
assholes
the
running
people
the
were
biggest
feeling
protection
about this
racket in the
peace
state.
broker
That's the
deal.
kind of status
And let
quo
me
I
tell you
cannot
firsthand
abide.
what I've
As far as my
witnessed
part,
myself.
I can
I
provide
spoke
all
with
the
the people on
intel
the
you need.
street. I spoke with
Records,
you.
names, locations.
They know your
We will
name.
need to
They know
educate
that a
ourselves on the
president
factory,
named
though. Gather
President Trump is
materials
working
so we
hard
can
to
attack it with
finally bring.
style
Did
and
you hear that?
aptitude.
People in
Ding fucking
Congo
dong,
know
Officer
that this
Effenberger.
president
We're
is not
effing
just
falling
talking.
asleep over
No.
here.
He's not
Get
like
us
the
some
Bill
effing coffee.
Clinton.
All the rest of them
Copy
bitches.
that.
Rip
I'm
The rest
on
of
my
them funky
way.
never
fuckers.
gave the
Think
took
about
the
it.
money and
If
ran,
anybody
and a
deserves
bunch
it,
of you
fuck me,
dumbasses,
it's these
including you
guys.
minorities,
Can I count
actually
you in?
still praising Bill and Hillary
Excellent.
Clinton. Hell, y'all was
Now
calling
on to
him
the
the
first order
first
of
black
business.
president
A quiet
before
Bunch of
the
storm.
bullshit.
Commander
Fortuitously, we
Sausage
have
Hider
found
showed
several
up.
ongoing
Peace to
operations
the
not
country.
far from here.
I saw
Man, the
hope.
sources
They
high.
have
To
hope
operate
now
for a
for
share
a
of the
better
profits.
day in
I
Congo.
suggest we
They
take a
see
more proactive
what
stance.
you're doing as a future,
Time to do what
better
you do.
future for
I'll call
Congo.
you.
And I had
Let me take these
opportunity to
fucking
sit down with
assholes that
President
coffee.
Felix Tshisekedi for an interview because I want to understand his mind, what he's thinking, his feeling about everything that your administration is doing. And he told me firsthand that for many years, many American presidents overlooked this conflict. They didn't do nothing. Even myself, I covered President Biden's administration.
He didn't do nothing. He wasn't in charge there. No, he wasn't in charge.
About this conflict, people are dying in Congo.
They don't care. They'll pretend like they care about the whole little minority, but they don't give a damn.
Country has so much potential, but they need help because this war is destroying the country. They never gave me any answer. And he told President Tshisekedi that he's very, you have no idea, he's very thankful for what you're doing, for what your administration.
Hello, this is Morse Mutual Insurance.
They see that finally.
I think we can do that.
And President Tshisekedi
Praise the Lord.
Did you know I
Breathe.
used to be in security at the
mentioned
Dollar
at the
Casino?
end of my interview that when he finally comes to Democratic Republic of the Congo, he will nominate you as a Nobel Prize Peace because he said you deserve, you have been working to bring peace in the world, not only
Did you hear that? Nobel Peace Prize. It should have been got. It should have got it the last time.
the Congo, and he's very
They gave it to the sausage hider, Barack Obama. He hadn't even done a damn thing.
hopeful to meet you in the future.
That's so nice. And that's so beautifully stated. And Caroline said, number one, she did say, and I shouldn't say this because it's politically incorrect, she said, she's beautiful, and you are beautiful.
You're through to your garage. You, need me to bring you a ride?
That was something so
I'm
bad.
not allowed to say that, you know, that could be the end of my political career. I said it.
But I wanted to bring that right there up to bring up this is what the president is doing. And he's not giving any credit about it. Now, these rogue judges who have been trying to instruct the president what to do. We don't have, what was it, 600 or so that judges trying to stop him? And he's broken this cease war, peace in Congo.
I'll get there as soon as I can.
And this
Okay,
Supreme
I got
Court
stuff to do.
ruling, it really actually exposes the Country Brown. Because I'm not a big fan of Amy Coney Barrett, but we can put this up in the caption as Brown versus Barrett, and it wasn't even close. And I disagree with Amy Coney Barrett on a whole lot of decisions, but she was completely correct on this one, and she destroyed. Some people say she nuked the Country Brown. Now that's not hard to do, nuking the Country Brown, because if you recall, the Country Brown is the one who don't know the definition of woman.
You provide a definition for the word woman.
I can't.
I still don't know what to do. How she can be a fucking judge, man? I don't want her judging over me and she can't give you the definition of a fucking woman is.
She's not a biologist.
So she's supposed to be a damn judge. That's stupid.
Now, Kagan and Trump allowed her to do the dissent, but that was comical in and of itself because Amy Coney Barrett says we will not dwell on Justice doctrine. That's that argument which is at odds with more than 2 centuries of president, not to mention the Constitution itself. We observe almost Justice Jackson decries imperial executive while embracing an imperial judiciary. Then she goes on to say, because analyzing the governing statutes involves boring legalese. In other words, she's too stupid to look at the law, but she's supposed to be a supreme justice.
Nah.
Who is the fella? Who is the people who's
I don't need people.
They don't know what it is because one of the law clerks, I guess she okayed. They wrote in there in the sense, wait for it. Like you did this and then wait for it. Prove our case. Now, all of these cases only proves one thing to me.
Ain't qualified.
27 universal injunctions issued in the 20th century. Right now, if they haven't did any more before what I looked up, about 86 universal injunctions were issued against President Trump in his first term. 30 or so, maybe a little bit more than that, have been issued against President Trump already in his second term. They're using the court system to stop him. So first term, 64.
That's why all them judges should be fucking fired.
I think 64.
They crooked. They crooked.
I think 64. Second term, I think, no, 60. First term is 64. Second term, some say is at about 30, some say about 41. If you look at Biden's whole presidency, the man wasn't even in charge. He had 20, and Obama had 12. Now, if you think that this is not about trying to stop through the judicial system, you're fooling me.
Right, the one district judge.
Now, this is Kagan. After the fact, Kagan was saying that this should not be allowed. This is in 2022 when Kagan said this.
It can't be right that one district judge can stop a nationwide policy in its tracks and even stop for the years that it takes to go through the normal process.
Isn't that something?
You see, it wasn't right then.
With her mindset. Why did she change her mindset? Let me let you listen to it one more time. This is her in 2022.
It can't be right that one district judge and stop a nationwide policy in its tracks and leave it stop for the years that it takes to go through the normal process.
Isn't that something? Now here's something about the injunction.
It was against the ruling that I just gave the guy because he's one of the least junior justices, which he was assigned to write this opinion, and essentially.
You know, isn't she the same one the other day they had when they were talking about the transgender surgery? Now, the 6 who had children voted against this, allowing kids to have this transgender surgery. The only justice with kids was Ketanji Brown that voted against it.
Yep.
She don't even know what she's doing. She's only over here. She is a DI hire. The only reason she was hired, according to Joe Biden, who wasn't in charge himself, is because she was black.
So what she says, some say that the universal injunctions give the judiciary a powerful tool to check the executive branch, but she said federal courts do not exercise general oversight of the executive branch. They resolve cases.
Look at the cases right here. I mean, to me, this should be enough. You're going to excuse the chance. This right here should be enough. Right? The map does not lie right here.
Controversy consistent with the authority Congress has given to them. When a court concludes the executive branch has acted unlawfully, the answer is not for the courts to speak as power, sounding very much like they are limiting these injunctions. We know that they have granted at least partially the stay to these preliminary injunctions, but they say only to the extent that the injunctions are broader than necessary to provide complete relief.
Now, anybody who's not like is actually see that the only reason they're doing all this is because, first of all, these communist pieces of trash hates the damn country. All the Democrats ever do is hire who's incompetent in the first damn place. And then they go get a bunch of lawyers behind the scenes and rogue judges who were appointed. And they allow them to fight their fight for the people who enjoy the LC, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. They're too stupid to make an argument. These lawyers tell them what to say. Now, this should be enough to stop all of these phony injunctions, trying to stop the president from deporting a bunch of bad. Dr. Brown is no more fit for the Supreme Court than a bulldog is. But she got slapped down, and hopefully this will stop some of these ridiculous injunctions that should never have been allowed in the first day of place. We get back to business. They're upset because we're winning. And by the way, those who said that the bomb being dropped in Iran was going to start World War III, the economy is doing better. They got to say it again, you're wrong again, so-called expert.
Welcome, expert.
What says about all this? Yeah, I'm waiting, because y'all say he was right, he was smart, he was right.
Man, fuck what Tucker Carlson's doing. Yep.
And I'm going to keep bringing it up. Because just because somebody got a big following, I once had a real big following. I got banned because I wouldn't compromise like the rest of them. Damn right I'm going to say it. But they're upset because President Trump is winning. Just saw what sorry boy Elon Musk running his pothole again. Elon Musk had said something to the effect because they're not going to get all these subsidies for these wind farm and all this. He's upset about that. He made enough money. Why should we subsidize your companies? I don't believe in subsidizing any of them. But not, especially when it comes to this climate change, electric cars, and wind farm trash. You say some jobs going to be lost? So what? Maybe some need to get lost if it's going to result in that. President Trump, you're having a great week. Really proud of the job you're doing. If we can get some of the deep state arrested, I'll feel a whole lot better if we can get Pam Bundy and Kenneth Taylor to do something about the deep state. Because they're still lurking, in the background.
Yeah.
They need to be arrested.
Need to be arrested. They're hanging back. They're hanging back.